All right, buddy, and this is Jay Lost Today, back again, or Phelan of the Company's Guild, joined today again with my friend.
Brandon, Crassus, Vanzir, the Party Wizard.
Absolutely, the Party Wizard. And today, I, the Rogue and the Party Wizard, are here to discuss with you how to make an evil campaign work. As two gentlemen that has spent a number of years playing through several different iterations of evil campaigns with a number of different evil characters, I feel like this would be a good
Years.
subject to talk about, especially after we had tried to play an evil campaign with our regular group and it did not go so well. So with that, we figured maybe that would be a interesting subject to talk about. With that, with the establishing an evil campaign, I believe that you and I agree that one of the very first and crucial things when doing that is having the characters have personal motivations and goals that they wish to accomplish throughout the story.
That's true. Um, Real quick before I touch on that though, I did think of something else, and I think it is important.
Mm-hmm.
Evil does not mean stupid.
1000%. It does not mean stupid.
You can have an evil character that has evil motivations and is a selfish, conniving jerk.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean he's just gonna willy nilly walk into town, slashing people's throats, and immediately getting the attention of the guard and get arrested and thrown in jail.
So
That's
I feel like the
not how
simple
that
of that
works.
is I feel like the simple of that is evil does not mean murder hobo.
That's true.
It does
That's true.
not mean stupid murder
I
hobo
mean, it
or
can,
dumb. I mean, it
but I
can, but
mean,
it
if
depends on the
you
type of
want a
game. If the whole
long
thing is
form
sorry,
campaign for evil characters to work, then you have to pick a time and place that is right if that is what you want to accomplish.
well, it's all about being smart in the end, about thinking through the things that you're doing. Uh, Again, if you're playing like a one shot and you just want to be evil murder hobo and murder
I mean, sure,
everything in
go
front of
for
you,
it.
go for it. But if you're trying to long form that, uh, definitely the idea of just running into every town and trying to cut everything up or be a douche and be like, oh, I didn't like the way they talked to me, slash, 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 slash. You're not going to make it very far into that game. I, I, I really don't see how you would, but now, I mean, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. You could make 20 levels of just all we did was go through the entirety of the world and just kill everyone.
I mean, I would hope that your DM would be giving you a little bit more of a challenge than that.
I mean, you would
Unless the
hope.
outset of the idea was for you to conquer the world because you're already so powerful that nobody can stand up to you.
I mean, maybe you're running like a level 20 campaign where all the characters are like level 20 and decided that they were going for all out war domination.
I mean,
Uh,
yeah,
maybe
it's a
maybe you're
scenario that I
telling
guess can
yeah,
happen.
maybe you're telling the story of Genghis Khan and your players are Genghis Khan and they are conquering the known world. Um,
Hey,
I guess that could work. That could work. But like we said, motivation. The character's motivation, just like Mr. Khan there, his motivation was to become the grandest of warlords. Uh, what do you feel when it comes to that?
character motivation for an evil campaign. I think characters that have motivation that are evil inherently have to be more uh, critical in their thinking about how they get things done than good characters. Now, that may be a hot take, I'm not sure. But because what you are trying to do is not seen in the public eye as a good deed, you really have to put more thought in how you're going to execute this idea.
Mhm. I would 1,000% agree with that particular take, though, is that when it comes to playing an evil character, it takes more thought than it does when you are playing a good character. With good characters, since the majority of your actions and the things you're doing are, out in front of people or in the public, and you're trying to maintain a specific morality, it can add a little bit more ease into the things that you're
Mm.
doing, where it also adds a little bit more difficulty, where you're concerned more about innocent people and innocent lives and things like that.
Yes.
Whereas with an evil character, you give a little bit less of a care about innocent people while doing your things. But
Right.
with that, you also have to maintain that how are you trying to do this? Are you doing everything through a bunch of just evil syndicates and you don't care about how things are seen, or are you using everything in at your hands, your fingertips, to set and plan your motion to, I don't know, say you're going through and one of your steps is that in order to gain power, you have to get the people to be behind you, and one of the ways
Mm.
you have to do that is you have to convince them that you are a good person that has their best interest at heart, and then
Mm.
turn around, and while you're maintaining this facade of you obviously care about the way that their feelings and takes and everything, and about the public, you're also behind the scenes doing all the things that are causing the strife of that public.
So a politician.
So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, being a smart
That
evil
might
person
also
is a
be a hot take.
politician.
Who knows?
I, I don't think it's that hot.
But I mean, yes, you. A lot of times, in order to make goals for an evil campaign and to see some things happen, you have to have the characters play the role of the good guy in order to maintain the status quo
Hmm.
while you do all your nefarious deeds behind closed doors.
Absolutely, and not only with the general subject that is maintain, having those motivations for your character that are personal goals that you wish out to set out. Eh, Doing an evil campaign is a lot of times a lot not terrible different, in the same sense that you are still setting out on quests, you're still doing things, you're still using the world around you to benefit your character for those goals. And with those goals, especially with a party of people, they each have their own individual motivations, right? Well, you
Hmm.
need to find a way in the beginning to connect those motivations for those characters, and that's a lot of how you get the party going in an evil campaign, is establishing how each one of their paths are better by being in this group of people than by themselves.
Also, an easy way for a DM to set up something like this, that you have the party come together because their overall motivation as a group can include all of their singular motivations.
Hmm.
And maybe you tie it into, and a great way to do that, I think, is to, because I guess it would depend on how evil your evil character actually is, because a good
Because there are
plot
very,
hook.
very varying levels of evil.
Yes, that's true. A good plot hook, even for evil characters, is there is something or someone out there in the world that is crossing a line that is even too far for these people.
Absolutely. Of course, I was going to bring that up because that is one of the things that really, I believe, our DM at the time, Daryl, did well during those games, which was giving the party reasons as to how this person had gone far beyond even the limits of their lines. And it's not like these
Mm.
guys had very short lines. You know, they're paid killers and things like that. So they have far lines, but like these people are taking people that are damn near sociopaths or sociopaths and getting them to go. That seems too much.
Yeah. Yeah. Another, I mean, the simplest
Now I will
motivation
bring
for
this
a
up
group
real
of evil
fast.
characters. Sorry.
No, I'll bring this up real fast. With one of that, especially touching on that, and I think, you know, you're bringing up another one of the simple motivations, but one of those motivations, especially, it's even just as simple as this person's plan will literally remove everything, will destroy the world or something to that nature, and guess what? Your party can't have the destruction of the world because they can't end their plans or fulfill their goals if there's nothing there.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're living in this world.
Yeah.
You do you want to accomplish your goal, or do you want to no longer be living?
Right.
Seems
right.
like a pretty easy motivation. Another thing that I think I was gonna say, like a simple motivation in the beginning, before your plot or whatever thickens
Yeah,
or
it really
gets
takes
revealed,
hold.
is just basic survival. In the world of Dungeons and Dragons, there's a lot of scary things just out in the wild. If you're an adventurer at the end of the day, no matter if you're good or evil, having a group, you will survive a lot longer than by yourself.
Yeah, well,
And
like,
at the end of the day, even as an evil character, I feel like you, in the mindset, you rest easier knowing that there is somebody among you that has your back and will protect you while you sleep, even if you don't fully trust this person.
yeah, no, I mean, and that's the thing with it, because with evil parties, a lot of times you never 100% trust the people you're with because
No.
you know you're all evil. But you do have a little bit more of that comfort in the sense that, hey, look, I can close my eyes, and this person, because we have a joined goal, is more likely to make sure I still open my eyes later on because they need to close their eyes. And they hope that I'll then, return them the same courtesy. But with that, you have the shared goals and everything, and touching back on like the simplicity of things, like I would say even with one of our games, like the whole thing just starting out, it's not like we were heavily together as a group start the game. We met up and stuff. Is like your character, my character, in one game we met up and we did a job together because we both showed up to do it at the same time. And then after that we met up with the rest of the group, and they had showed up in a bar and stuff, and they started talking, and we played this out like, we were sitting there by ourselves. They came up and started having a conversation with us. An event happened, which then, because we were the people in the area at the time, and it seemed like together we could, it was the experience that was laid before us seemed like it was too much for any one of us individually. We figured, well, we'll do this, we'll all do this. I don't trust you, but it's better than me dying outright. And then after that was done, and we all just happened to be going to the same general location after this particular area. Convenient, I know, right? So, but just as simple as that, like we were going to the next area together, so we ended up traveling. So we ended up traveling together, and we get to the next area, and our goals kind of connect together in some way. And by the end of what we did there in that next town, we had established enough together as being a group that the outside world had established us as a group. So we then just took that and went, okay, well, if we're going to be looked at like this, we might as well just take it and run with it. Because and I think the general philosophy behind that is, well, you can get more done as a myth or a symbol than you can just as some sort of whisper in the wind.
Yeah, and I think there's a like a false narrative that floats around that you know bad guys are guys with bad motivations or ill intent can't be um heroes of the land, which I mean the thing is like that's an excellent cover story.
Oh, it's an amazing cover story. I think we were the heroes of multiple cities in that game.
Yeah.
Purely because we used all of that to get ourselves in with the higher ups.
Yeah, what does becoming a hero of the land give you? It gives you access to important people. It gives you access to information. It gives you access to more things that you would have not had if you just chose to be some random thug.
Yeah, that is very true. You don't get much done and much credit just running around being a crazy person.
But yeah, I mean, and by doing so, you get, like I said, the access to everything you might want as an evil villain that you can use for your plans later.
Yeah, no, absolutely. With that, you open up so many more avenues for you as a character and your plans when you use the system against itself.
Hmm.
And that's one of the big things with evil characters. And I think, taking all of that into consideration when playing one of these particular types of games, uh, you'll have a better experience than
Mm.
you would if you just tried to play it as we murder everything, or as we mentioned earlier in the video, what we call stupid evil.
Yes. And you may be thinking to yourself, if you're DMing one of these games, well, how do I set up a big bad for this? Well, you just do the same thing you would normally do. You set up a big good.
Yeah, the same thing. You set up a big good, something that will inherently go against everything that the party is trying to do, even if that's as I've seen another person try to do, which is a leveling good party that is also doing deeds along at the same time that your evil party is doing them. So
Mm,
inevitably, the thing that you fight at the end is the good party that's been chasing you the whole time.
mm. I've seen it done that way. I've seen it done in ways where it's like a group of like clerics and fighters, soldiers that are led by a very powerful paladin that maybe picked up the trail of what was actually going on with these characters midway through the game and has been chasing them since then.
Yeah, no,
And
there's
the
that.
end of the game ends with like a clash with these guys.
Absolutely. You do that. You could do. Uh, there has been, like I said, that entire kingdom where at the end of it, like this particular kingdom is at war with whatever these people have been doing. The king himself has been trying to track down whatever these people have been doing, if that what they have been doing is important enough for him to even take notice.
Yeah, that's true.
It
I kind
really
of
depends on to the level of what your deeds and actions are happening. But if you're going to play it like you would in the same sense of like the evil deeds are say the same impactfulness to what's happening in the world as say like the good, where
mm,
I mean you're making significant notice with what your actions are.
yes. But I mean, like I said at the time, if it's under the guise of being heroes, it depends. It all depends on how you're doing things and when you want to reveal to the world the bigger plot or the bigger idea that what you've been doing is to set up something far worse.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. And with those particular thoughts, is there anything else you think you'd like to add to this?
No, not just that. Other than I kind of like that paladin idea because usually when paladins get super powerful, they become very self-righteous, and I want to punch that guy in the mouth.
I agree. I agree. The evil
Not to say
character
that the
in me
paladin
wants
class
to.
isn't fun because I've played some before and they're very fun to play.
Yeah, but come on now. Being an evil character and punching that self-righteous paladin in the fucking mouth is always fun.
That's true. That's true.
Absolutely. But with that, everyone, I think we're gonna kind of start wrapping this up today. Van Zier, you can tell the people bye.
Goodbye, folks.
Bye,
From the
people.
Party Wizard.
Absolutely. Everybody take care. Have a wonderful day. And we hope to see you next time.
Later.